Hi, and welcome to Tech Total Access. I'm your host, Alexis Craighead. The football team is traveling to Durham this Saturday to take on number 21 Duke. The Hokies have to win 2 of their last 3 games if they want to become bowl eligible. VTTV was at practice this week to find out how the team is preparing for the Blue Devils.
Balanced offensively, about 50-50 run and pass. The quarterback does a nice job for him. Boone, he makes good decisions, takes care of the ball. They got a good, just very solid football team. Without being said, well coached, and work cut out for us.
I mean, we're trying to, keep it even keel right now. There's not a time to panic or anything like that. We understand that we're in a bit of a hole here, and but the best thing for us right now is to have a good week of practice and then play well against Duke.
Ever since my freshman year, when they went up at 21-0 on us, I kind of gained a lot of respect for these guys. They came a long way, been pretty well coached, and last year was kind of a little shock to us. We thought we would come out victorious at the end, but after that game, we definitely looked at them differently. Looked at them as a season contender for the Coastal Division. So, but this year, it looks like they got everybody back. Everybody's more experienced. They got some talented guys on opposite end with the quarterback and definitely the wide receiver. And it looks like they got a little bit more speed up running back. So I'm looking forward to our game plan against these guys and see what we'll do differently compared to last year.
It's taking one game at a time. Right now we have Duke. Duke is on a roll right now, and we played a tough game against each other last year, and we got to go into their home and kind of just defeat them and take that crown and stop this streak that we kind of are on. But that's going to take everybody, coaches, defense, offense, special teams, and everybody just upbeat this week, positive, and and at the same time having fun. Because if we're uptight, then the season's not going to go well. So
impressed by the way Wade works. Even when I first got here in the off-season program, I noticed the way he worked in the weight room, and that's the way he worked in the 6 a.m. workouts, the way he moved around, and I'm like, it's like he'd be a good offensive lineman, and he's turned out that way.
I think we've been playing good. Like you said, we'll have a game where 50 plays, the team will have 100 yards, and then 3, 4, 5 plays, they have 150 yards. So it's just little things that we can fix that are coachable, that, just big plays that we're giving up that, that we can fix. So I think, other than that, I think we've been playing good.
Well, injuries is always a setback. Just any time away from the game is a setback. But, I think it's, coming together now, and we should be straight.
We look at Duke like Duke, you know what I'm saying? Because they came in here last year, and it was a ball fight. That was actually my first career start when I first got a chance to do that. They play, just judging from last year, they fight, they work hard, they play hard, and that's what it's about. So they're a good team, and they're well respected, and we respect them as a team.
We'll be right back with some R&R.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, by the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
All right, Rachel and Ricky, after a bye week, are the Hokies going to be able to avoid a 4-game losing streak against Duke?
Okay, Ricky, so things aren't looking too good for Tech football right now. We have to win 2 of our last 3 if we're going to go to a bowl game. Do you think we're going to be able to do it this weekend against Duke?
Well, it's going to be tough. Duke is a very good team all around. They're 8-1, and the only game they lost was against Miami. They're 4-1 in the ACC. They're in the driver's seat for the ACC Coastal, and they're led by their senior quarterback, Anthony Boone, who's a very good game manager. He's not the best passer, and he's not the most athletic guy, but he's got 14 touchdowns this year, and he's very, very consistent throughout the year.
And I think on our Virginia Tech side, injuries just keep piling up. Latest injury, Jonathan McLaughlin, our offensive lineman, out for the season. We have a new guy who's from a Division III school who's going to come in and play for him. That's on top of course, our running back injuries, our injuries on the defensive line. It's just piling up. We can't take any more losses.
Yeah, and it's just got to be the next man up. Wade Hansen, like you mentioned, is a transfer from a D3 school. He originally was recruited as a defensive lineman, but now they moved him to the offensive line. And the teammates really raved about him. They said he's just a beast out there. He's really, just nonstop. He's got a great motor. But he's obviously not the talent level that Jonathan McLaughlin was. McLaughlin had a great year last year, and he's been pretty solid so far this year. But, like you said, you lose Luther Maddie, you lose Brandon Faison, you lose Trey Edmonds, you lose Marshawn Williams for a game. It's just the injury bug's really bitten them this year.
And even without the injury bug, we weren't looking too hot. Michael Brewer had a pretty good game against Boston College. Going to have to step up again. Going to have to keep up. No interceptions, no turnovers. We're not going to be able to afford to make any mistakes at Duke.
Yeah, I thought he had his best performance of the year, honestly, against Boston College. He really gave his team a chance to win. He played well through the entire game. He was a great game manager. He didn't try and make too many good plays. He was, he really just kept from making mistakes. And that's what they need from him, and they're going to need that again this weekend against Duke.
They definitely are. The defense is going to have to be really strong against Boone, their quarterback, who we struggled with last year, and who is just a great quarterback all around.
Yeah, and they have a very good running game this year. They average almost 200 yards a game on the ground. That's incredible, especially in the ACC. Not to mention they have a very good defense that gives up less than 20 points a game. I think the defense is ranked 11th in the nation. It's one of the best in the it's very good. And they're very deep on the defensive side of the ball. And the Hokies just they've got to get the running game going. They haven't had a running game since several weeks. I mean, maybe Western Michigan. They looked awful against Miami, awful against Boston College, awful against Pittsburgh. They need to get something going.
Well, against Miami, I would say their running game looked awful because they kept fumbling, but they did get somewhat of a running game starting because Marshawn got over 100 yards, and we need him to do that again. But also, as you mentioned, Duke's running game, Virginia Tech's defense is letting up more running yards than they have since 2001, I believe.
Yeah, this defense is really struggling, and I think it goes back to what you mentioned earlier with the injuries, not having Luther Maddie up front. He's such a good stopper in the middle. And then also Chase Williams, who's missed a game. They say he's going to be back this week, but as a backup, Andrew Matuapuaka should still be starting. And they need to see some continued growth from him. He played well against Boston College. He did struggle against Miami, but if they can continue to see growth from him, he can continue to grow in that spot because he's probably going to start there next year. It'll really help that defense.
I think it's obviously Chase Williams is a horrible injury. I mean, we want him back for his senior year, but I think Andrew has looked pretty good, and I think he will be ready and look really, really good next season.
Yeah, he's just flying around the field against Boston College, and yeah, with this experience at late, to finish the year is going to help him a lot moving forward.
Certainly. So neither of us are super positive about Duke.
Yeah, Hokie fans are slowly losing hope. So, what are you guys' predictions for this game?
I'm going to go ahead and say 28-24, maybe a little closer than you would expect, but I think the Hokies have been playing well away, especially when they're not in NFL stadiums. So maybe being at Duke will actually help us.
I've got a kind of a blowout. Duke 38, Virginia Tech 17. I just don't have any faith in this Hokie defense. It's just been a bad season overall. Hokie fans just need to run for the hills at this point.
Well, start running, guys. We'll see what happens Saturday.
Every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
The wrestling team kicked off their season this weekend against Newberry College. I was at the game to give you the scoop. I'm here at Castle Coliseum, where the 12th-ranked Virginia Tech Hokies wrestling team got the season off to a great start, beating Newberry College 41-9. The 12th-ranked Hokies wrestling team eased their way past 19th-ranked D2 Newberry College. The match began with a special ceremony honoring former Hokies wrestler Darren Hankins, who passed over the summer. With 5 pins and a technical fall, the Hokies won 41-9. Redshirt junior Nick Brasida got things started with a 24-6 win. Newberry's Lucas Gilmore upset 19th-ranked Chris Moon in the final moments of the second period. Sophomore Zach Epperly debuted and impressed coach Kevin Dresser.
Zach Epperly, for a new guy coming in, not getting caught up in the moment, the crowd. He could have got caught up in the moment. He's been coming to these matches since he's been a little bitty kid because he grew up in Christiansburg. So for him to come out here and just look like it was another day at the office was pretty impressive. He was probably my MVP today.
Newberry earned more points with a second period pin from Nick Langford over Nick Anderson at 141 pounds. Redshirt senior Devin Carter closed out the match with a pin at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Though pleased with his performance, he knew that his first match jitters were definitely a factor.
Yeah, first one you always have kind of butterflies going in, but it's nice to get the first one out of the way so we can worry about the Hokie Open and bigger tournaments later. Not as good. We weren't crisp, we weren't fresh with our technique. We had 1 or 2 guys that definitely should have won their matches and just didn't execute what they should have.
The Hokies are back in action Sunday, November 16th, as they take on Gardner-Webb at 3 p.m. To continue with our wrestling coverage, the team held the Hokie Open on Sunday. Noelle Lane has you covered with all the action that took place.
Virginia Tech wrestlers took home titles at the Hokie Open. Joey Dance at 125, Sal Mastrani at 149, Zach Epperly at 174, and Ty Waltz at the heavyweight. The biggest surprise of the day was that Mastrani beat out Devin Carter at 149 for the title. After the loss, Carter decided to drop back down to 141, which is what he wrestled at last year. He will continue to wrestle at 141 for the remainder of the season.
The men's basketball team is preparing for their opening game against Maryland Eastern Shore on Friday. Rachel talked to the team this week about how they are preparing for the start of the season and about the new recruiting class that Tech just signed.
It's Alexis. I'm at Castle, where the women's basketball team is preparing for their season opener on Friday by playing an exhibition game against Washington and Lee. They won the game 93-12. The Hokies are looking to improve from last year's record of 14-16 overall and 4-12 in the ACC. The team only lost 2 starters from last year, Those starters were Monet Tellier and Uju Ugoka, the team leaders. Head coach Dennis Wolf, who's in his 4th season, says that the team will have to spread out scoring this year to make up for the loss of Tellier and Ugoka.
You know, again, I think we'll have to do it and spread it around a little bit. I think Reagan will end up scoring a lot of points, and I think we have to get more production out of some of the other girls, the returnees and the new guys.
Tech has 8 new players on the team. 5 of them are freshmen. The Hokies have 4 returning players who saw a good amount of minutes last season: Vanessa Panousis, Hannah Young, Taja Campbell, Kelsey Connors, and Samantha Hill. Panousis says the big change this season will be the team's speed.
I think the big difference is going to be our speed. I think we're much quicker this year, and we want to play at a quick tempo. You know, push the ball down the floor.
The team will have their season home opener on Sunday against Maryland Eastern Shore in Castle Coliseum. For the newsfeed, I'm Rachel Franks.
The women's basketball team is getting ready for their season as well, and Rachel put together a package so you will know what to watch for.
So we'll have to be like we were yesterday in practice to have a chance to win. If we are like we were on Saturday, they'll beat us. They'll beat us, and so I don't know who will start. A lot of that will be measured on what happens over the next 48 hours.
So, I mean, we've kind of developed a system. It's kind of run and gun. You know, we're kind of undersized. So we're going to try to push the ball, play really aggressive on defense. And I think exciting. It's going to be exciting and fun.
Very important. It's very important for us to see where we are, where we stand, whereas playing against other teams, playing against other opponents, and how we are the best on the court. So it's going to be a very good evaluation period for us too, to see what we need to improve on more before the ACC season gets here, before that schedule comes up, because then we'll be facing a lot bigger teams, better teams. And I think to grow in this period before the ACC comes is probably one of the most important periods of the year.
I've had to go through so much work before, so I think we're pretty solid. Nobody's real injured, and yeah, we're ready to play on Friday.
Really excited about the group that we've signed. Represent who we want to be about on the floor, more importantly off the floor. I think Kerry has a very high ceiling, extremely skilled for his age, will play for another state championship this year, just like I anticipate Chris will. Is a true combo forward, I think. Can shoot it out the three, is a great passer. Guard-like feet, can guard a ball screen however you want. Left-handed, true point, plays the game, runs the game mentally and physically for his team. I love left-handed guards, very bright. Chris, his motor does not stop. He does not buy unleaded. He does not buy super unleaded. He gets his gas from T. Boone Pickens. And he is nonstop. Long, rangy, very hard to guard, can tilt the floor downhill as quick as anybody 6'7" in the country. Love his energy, love his fight. You can play him anywhere on the floor. I think he is a clone to some of those guys that we've coached in the past, but I think he plays really hard at a very early age, which I think is always someone you can count on long term.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
For Man on the Street this week, VTTV hit downtown Blacksburg Tuesday night to ask about the start of basketball season. We ended up running into a tennis player who gave us the lowdown on the women's tennis team.
Hopefully, we'll have a good turnout this year. We'll dominate and go Hokies.
I'm going to try to go to as many games as possible, you know, support the Hokies, and it's going to be a good season, yeah.
I watched some games last year, my junior year. I don't go very often. I'm not a basketball fan. I'm sorry. I like watching Eric Green play. He was really fun to watch.
To be honest, I'm an exchange student.
Is it your first year?
No, yes, my first year, yes. And I want to go see the first homecoming game. But actually, I don't know. I don't know every player, so I could not say something.
Oh, it's okay. It's been a great season for us. During the fall, we're actually playing individual tournaments, and this year we've been doing great. I feel like the team is improving more and more, and we're now waiting for the spring season, which is going to be more important for Virginia Tech because we're going to play as a team.
This week, we've got some behind-the-scenes bloopers for you guys. Enjoy!
Ricky, things are not looking good. Hokie should be just running for the hills right now. Is that Kim?
Yes.
Wait, are those her boobies?
Wait, what?
Why are you showing me a picture of Kim Kardashian's boobies?
You're gonna get Ricky a little too riled up. Ding.
Can you mute it or anything? Can you cut that little part?
I can maybe.
Can I do a
probably
scene
not.
like this?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Your scenes are done. Goodbye. All day I felt like a booger. It's in my nose right here.
That's enough.
Alright, did that. Yep, and we're going, and we're going, and we're going. That's all we have for you on this edition of Tech Total Access. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and don't forget to tune in next week for more hard-hitting sports action. And as always, go Hokies!